Hi there, it's John Foster here. So today we're going to be starting the Kyosho Optima, and I'd just like to thank a few guys for making this happen. First and foremost, Keith at RC Icons for making this dream come true and sending me this all the way from the States. Thank you so much. And there's been a few other guys that also helped me. You had Addam over at Addam's Playground. You had Dirk over there at RC Birds. You also had Freddy over at RC Freddy. You also Robby over at Bang for Your Buck RC, and these guys, you guys are really just super. I don't know what to say, but thank you so much indeed for helping me out here and getting this dream come true. Now, let's get in. So first of all, manual. I've been looking through this manual and just familiarizing myself like you're supposed to with all the builds, including Tamiya's. So this is the wonderful Kyosho Optima, the legendary series, and typical manuals here, very good indeed. Very similar to the way Tamiya are. You've got your tools here that you get, tools that you're going to need, some of your accessories you think you might need. Then it talks about the servo, the ESC and the receiver, batteries sizes which you need to comply with, which are these days most of these components are quite small compared to back in the 80s when this was out. Types of radio you're going to need, and even some suggestions here of what motors you could use. Also talks about how you use the manual and how you screw in the screws, etc., making sure you do not over tight or strip out. And it's talking to you here about offering them up to the drawings to make sure you got the correct screw. It talks about the types of hardware, it talks about the measurements of them here, bearings, of course you get bearings here, and then it does go into the screws itself, the screw packs, the rubber parts, bags, the metal parts. It talks about those. More metal parts here, plastic parts. It sort of lists everything, giving you the references that you're going to see in the stages of the build. So for example, I think the way it works on the plastic parts here, you've got a tree which is an OT number, so an OT203 in this case, for example, and then you have the item number that's on the tree, those types of things. So a little bit different to the way Tamiya do it, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. So here we are. We've gone through that. We're now going to be at step one. So step one is all about opening up bag A and your plastic bag, and it's talking about getting your components together, and we're talking differentials. Of course, I've also got some weighted oil, so it does recommend here at the bottom some silicone oil between 5,000 and 30,000. Now, never run a Kyosho, so I do not know. So I've gone for a 5,000. This is a Core RC, and look guys, you can see the bubble, look at that. And I think that's thick, so this is on the thinner the thinner edge of this. Wow, okay, but anyway, we'll see this. We can always fine-tune this. It might mean taking the car, stripping the car down a little bit to get to it, but hey, some is better than none. But I'm not going to be using it as a racing machine. Mine's purely a pleasure and enjoyment. So we've got some of that, and we're going to need to work through the stages, and I'll do this step by step. So here we have our components. We've got our bag A in here. I've taken out the bearings, and what I've added on my bearings, I always add a little bit of this ZX1 friction eliminator oil onto the bearings. So a few drops on each one, turn them over, a few drops on the other side. That's what I tend to do to treat the bearings. Got my little brush here so I can spread my grease. And so the components you need here to start this off is all in bag A. And apart from these two components here, so this one, this is your front diff case housing. This one is OT208F, okay, and that is found here on the front. And the other one, which is a metal one, which is OT221B, this one is also found here, and that's your rear diff housing. So now we've got to assemble all these components in a bit of grease to make the front and the rear diffs so they're ready for the step 2. So let's have a go at doing our front of our differentials. So we'll take the output cup. This is the output cup, is a metal output cup, which is OT224A, and then we take, which is a little O-ring, like a rubber O-ring, which is one of these guys. I've put a little bit of grease on here, which is what it says. So this is the O-ring, OT222D, and you can make sure it's the right one because you can offer them up on the drawings, but it's the right one. It's the only one that's in there. So let's pop that over like that. Now that we've got that in place, we need to take the OT208F, which is the diff housing, front diff housing, pop that into place. And we've got a hole here that we're going to need to line up as well, so let's get that lined around. Yeah, so we've got a pin to put in there, you see. So we now need this OT222E, which is like a large washer. So that's this guy here. So again, you can offer these up onto the drawing to make sure it's the right one. So pop that on there like that, and it's quite thin, so you can offer it that way. So that goes over the shaft on the inside like that. And now that that's in, we need to take one of these pins, which is this guy here. So just offer that up on the drawing, make sure it's the right one, which it is. So that's OT224B, which is a 2x7mm pin. And the idea is we've got to get that through the hole. So what I'm going to do is line up the hole so I've got more room, so that I can then slot this through the hole like that. There we are. There we are. I'll just kind of pull that, line it up. That's in. There we are. Okay. A little bit more over. There we are. And then we're going to take one of these counter gears, OT222B. No, OT222A, because it's got this section here to take that. So we're going to need to put some grease on here, and I think we're going to put some grease on here. So let's do that while we have that here like that. Spread that in place. There you go. Slip straight over now. Slip straight over. Much better. Now we've got that in place, we need to take the shaft that goes across the two, which is one of these guys, and we need to put these, which is OT222C, and we put these two little gears either side, which are OT222Bs, so they're either side like that. And we need these washers, which are these, they're black in colour, which are these ones here. Offer them up to the drawing to make sure. So we need one on each side of the counter gears. So one on that side, hold that in place, and one that side. And this is going to go across the top like that. So we need to move that outwards and move that outwards so that the shaft sits inside here with a washer either side, one there, and you know it's right because you'll be able to spin that and it should spin. Yeah. So we've got to put some grease in here as well to make sure it's nicely lubricated. That is for the front one. We're going to need to do the same again for the rear one. So let's do the rear one. So put some grease on here. Take our O-ring. Perfect. Up through the bottom. Perfect. Our washer. Like that. Got to get our pin. Get that lined up. Like that. And there we go. And what I would do here is give it a bit of downward pressure to keep that pin in place. Like that. Keeping the downward pressure. Put a bit of grease in the bottom. Bit of grease. Then we take our 0222B, pop it over the top like that. Bit of grease either side ready. Then we take our, we get our shaft. You may remember this one here. Put this down for a second. Our gears here again. Our 222B gears. Our little black washers either side. Like that. Put those on. And then line those up. So that they're lined up. Like that. There we are. Then it's a case of putting the grease on and spreading the grease around. Quick way of spreading the grease around while it's in there. Give it a little turn. Nice and cheat. But yeah, you might need to pop that down. There we are. And if you want to, you can spread the grease around and get a good coloring. There we are. So that's step one completed.